morning. Lori, I adore you. You know, that song was like from my early days in the Centers for Church for Religious Science, way back in the day. And I thought of that song the other day and I went, oh, I really need to hear that, you know? And so now I'm getting thumbs up from all the other old timers that are here who also really enjoyed that song. Thank you so much. And what a treat for somebody that, you know, this is my first time pulpit-wise, okay? Yeah, 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 ever. I mean, you know I can talk a lot because I do it as a practitioner, but this is my first time to be asked to do pulpit. And I'm very pleased and very excited to be here and very grateful to Reverend Elisha to give me this opportunity. Go on vacation again, I'll be back. So there's been a lot going on here in this community, as you know. We have beautiful flowers here from the celebration of life that was held here yesterday for Joy Haley, who was one of our dear friends and practitioners who recently passed away. And I feel like I still see her in this building. Yesterday, when everybody was gathering around, there were like 5 people around, and I was ready to run up and give them a hug, and then I went, that's not Joy. But I swear she was in this building. And for those of you that were here yesterday and you witnessed the faux pas of the picture that went flying down twice, while I was up here, it couldn't happen to anybody else. I know Joy kicked that over. No doubt in my mind. Then the second time the tripod came down, so then I really know that was her. But it was wild. Anyway. Okay, have you ever gotten one of those nudges, one of those God talk things that has shown up and said, you need to do this? And you're like, what the heck are you talking about? And it just kept coming back and kept being persistent. And you go, that's not me. I can't do that. What if somebody finds out I'm a fake or a fraud? What if I fail? You know? Well, what happens if you say yes? What happens if you fail? Is the world going to stop? No. And so I thought about my life, and I will not give you a life map because I've had so many God nudges through the years, and I just went, how the hell am I going to do this? And it happened, and I'm still standing. Fortunately, yeah. And it's not always easy. And when you answer the God bumps, it doesn't guarantee everything's going to be great. So many years ago, like 2007, Owen and I had a restaurant here in Capitola. And it was a struggle financially. It was right around the time of 2008 when the financial debacle happened. But I got this loud thing, go to school. And I had finished my practitioner studies. And I just felt like I wanted something more, but I wasn't interested in going to ministerial school. So what am I going to do? And one lady came in one night over the holidays, and she said, my daughter is going to this amazing school, and you talk just like her. So I was kind of curious what that meant, but it meant that there was more of a spiritual talk in our conversations. And so her daughter came up for Christmas, and she told me about this university she was getting her master's in spiritual psychology in, and I went, oh, that's it. You know, that nudge that came right through the door and balked me in the eyes, and I went, I am going to that school. We owned a restaurant. We owned 2 group homes. I was crazy busy. I went to school. Had all the money ready to go. Some of you know this story because you traveled the path with me, right? Had the money ready to go, and then the month before I was to start, the money disappeared. Had to go back to the restaurant. And I had to call them and say, I can't make it. I just don't have the funds for this. And they said, if the money came, would you go? And I said, absolutely, I'm packed, I'm ready to go. I was to start in about 3 weeks. She said, let me call you back. And I got a call back, and she said, how about if we give you a partial scholarship? Can you come up with the rest? I said, yes. I had no idea where the rest of that money was going to come from. For 2 years, every single month, I drove to Santa Monica. Every single month, money showed up from mysterious places. I don't know how or why. Every single month, I paid my tuition for 2 years. Miracles happen when you say yes. Miracles happen. And I was the beneficiary of that. And it wasn't easy because at that time, we were losing our home. We had to close our restaurant. Our 13-year-old granddaughter moved in with us, which was quite a shock. My God. And I made it through all of that because I said yes to this God nudge that has brought me through all of that with my head held high, with knowing that I didn't do anything wrong. The only thing I did was say yes. And my final project was a workshop called Designer Lemonade. Making lemonade from the lemons life has handed to you. And it was designed especially for people who had lost their homes, suddenly lost their retirement, suddenly lost everything. And what has happened to all of these people? Some of these people are here today that went through my workshop, and their lives are great. You survive those things. Failure makes you stronger. True? Failure is not failure. Failure is the opportunity to learn and to grow through what has showed up on your stage, right? So right before the service, I was talking with Craig, who's one of our new friends who has showed up, and we talked about that proverbial God bump, where you get that kick that sends you on your journey. Who has not experienced that? If I see a hand, I'll be blown away. I've never experienced that. I think of our friend Corey Ybarra, who's here. She doesn't know I'm calling her out. But I know that Corey said a big yes about 20 plus years ago. And she has an organization called Building for Generations. Now, she had to say a big yes because what does she do? She builds schools in Peru and Tanzania by doing garage sales and yard sales and donations and volunteer work. She said a big yes. I don't know any of the details, but when I think of people that show up and answer that calling and how it shows up in the world in a big way, those are the people that said yes. Yes, Lori says yes all the time, right? With her music, with her showing up, with her speaking with us, for coming here to our center. We love Lori, right? Yes, we do. Because she not only does music, she does music that is spiritually infused. She uplifts the energy in this room because she said yes to her talents and her abilities. Yes. You already know I adore you, so yeah.
I always love to hear it.
You hear that? I always love to hear it. Yeah, don't we all? Yeah. We love to be recognized. So much. You wouldn't believe how many pages I wrote here before I came today. And good thing I didn't bring them all, because we'll be here for like 3 weeks. So as a practitioner and as a chaplain, I have many opportunities to pray for people that are going through challenges. And I never know how they're going to end up. I do know that I have this very firm belief that by holding the knowing of these people, that I hold them in that belief that there is this wonderful divine intelligence that is working through their lives, that there is no reason why they should not be receiving and achieving their good, and then I release it and let it go. It's all done. So when I do my prayer, I'm done. I let it go because that highest good has already been released for you. Well, I got a note the other day from somebody who was not a member here, who had never walked through these doors. This person was at our flea market, and she was having a hard time and she needed prayer. She had no idea what our affirmative prayers were about, and I could see her going, okay, well, this is pretty weird. A week after the prayer, her prayer was answered. She got a new vehicle that she desperately needed that showed up in miraculous ways. Now, I'm not saying that was because of my prayer. I'm saying that I wouldn't say no for her. I stepped out of the way, and I let Source come in and reach her highest good. So if any of you have not asked for prayer from us, please do, because we love doing it. I believe so strongly and so firmly in the power of prayer. I see changes happen all the time. I've seen them right here. Somebody said, I need a place to live. And somebody said, I have a room. They're in this room. And somebody said, I have a room available. Handled. Okay? Who else has had those kinds of synchronicities in your life? God works through all of us if we only step back and let it move. So, practitioners also need practitioners. Ministers also need to have their practitioner. And I finally found one that I felt was strong enough to work with me, because I can be pretty stubborn. And I was going through this big litany with her. I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to do the things I want to do. I don't have enough money. I've got these aging issues that are coming up, and they're costing us so much more than I expected them to, and I don't know where the money's going to come. And I just don't have time to even go and travel and do, blah, blah, blah. And she said, Cheryl, do you realize that you are living in a state of lack and limitation? Whoa. Right between the eyes. And I thought, I would not let my clients get by with that. And here I am walking around telling the story, this old story. But I needed somebody to do that for me, to just say, Cheryl, come on, what are you doing? So I have consciously moved out of the lack and limitation dance. And when it comes up, I go, ooh, wait a minute. I need to step back and remember, that this is a universe that is good for everyone, not just for others. That means me too, So when we are in that place of lack and limitation, what does that do? It stops the flow. So if you have that belief, that negative belief, that you're not enough, you're blocking that flow, that spiritual law of circulation. I will say, 2 weeks later, I found out I'm getting a big raise that I had no idea was coming. I'm happy. I think tomorrow's the day. But, it's like you look at those consequences that show up when you get yourself out of the way, you get the ego out of the way, and you just step back and say, okay, I don't know how this is going to work, God, but I let this go, and I trust, and I believe in that power in the universe that works for me and for all of us. Ernest Holmes, who is our teacher, the creator of our philosophy here, has written in The Science of Mind, it is right that we should be successful, for otherwise spirit is not expressed. The divine cannot lack for anything, and we should not lack for anything that makes life worthwhile here on earth. There are gifts that are ours. There are gifts that are a divine birthright. Step into the flow. Let go of the negative. Let go of the fears. And trust and know that you deserve that birthright. You are a gift of God. And God wants you to use your talents and your skills and abilities with a great big yes, please. You guys all know my friend, Reverend Grace Lovejoy. You know how her prayer goes for prosperity and abundance? Yes. Thank you. More, please. Circulation. So, when you're given a gift, what do? Do you acknowledge it? What if you get something that is unusual? Somebody gives you a cool jacket. And you walk away, you might say, oh, thank you. What about gratitude? Okay, now we're talking about keeping that energy going. Do you write a note of thanks? Or do you send a special little note of thanks? You know, snail mail is kind of a cool thing to get nowadays. It's so rare. And I think probably the younger generation are like, snail mail, what's that? But it's so important to acknowledge the gifts that you are given and to go back to that giver and say, wow, thank you. It's not the item, it's the love, it's the connection, it's the energy. And you understand now as I'm saying this how important it is when you are in that belief of lack and limitation and you're letting it go. It's really important when you get that energy to you that you circulate it back by saying, thank you. Thank you for recognizing me. Thank you for seeing me. I see you for the generous gift that you are. It's that circle, that loving circle of receiving and giving, and it happens over and over again. Then you are in this flow of abundance and prosperity, our divine birthright. I said I wouldn't get breathless. I'm feeling breathless all of a sudden. Thank you. Okay, so today I'm going to close with an affirmation. And I want you to repeat it after me. You ready? Living boldly is my divine birthright. Living boldly is my divine birthright. Yes. I accept and celebrate my life. I accept and celebrate my life. I recognize my life is a divine gift and a blessing. I recognize my life as a divine gift and a blessing. Absolutely. I am empowered and inspired. I am empowered and inspired. I have the strength and courage to live my life boldly. I have the strength and courage to live my life boldly. I am fully embraced, empowered, and supported by the divine.
I am fully embraced, empowered, and
Supported by the divine. That was too long, wasn't it? I am fully embraced, empowered, and supported by the divine because I said yes to life.
Because I said yes to life.
That's right. I accept this amazing gift of life.
I accept this amazing gift of life.
I am grateful.
I am grateful.
And I'm going to write a note of gratitude.
And I'm going to write a note of gratitude
To God.
to God,
Thanking the divine for my life and the blessings of every breath and every life experience. And so it is. Yeah. Thank you.